Good afternoon, I'm Alicia Turner with your latest sporting headlines. We start with rugby, and excitement is already building ahead of tonight's Challenge Cup semi-final meeting between Gloucester and Newcastle Falcons at Kingsholm. The Premiership rivals go head-to-head for the fourth time this season, although media manager Duncan Wood feels they have a great chance despite two defeats in those previous matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we finished ninth last season, and our goal this season has always been to try and qualify for next season's Champions Cup. We've still got two routes in there, as you say. We can either win the Challenge Cup or we can finish top six. It's all in our hands. You know, we take on Newcastle, we make the final, where that's one step closer, but it's equally as big a game against Bath here a week on Saturday.
The Cherry Whites have been much improved this season and currently reside in 6th place of the Aviva Premiership table. But Wood doesn't feel that a Challenge Cup final place would affect their hopes of a top 4 finish.
I think it's going to be incredibly hard fought. We went up to Newcastle prior to Christmas, probably produced one of our best performances of the season, definitely on the road, and won quite comfortably up there with a bonus point. We then played them in the Anglo-Welsh Cup, which was a curious game. It was something of a dead rubber. We couldn't qualify, and they beat us quite narrowly up at Kingston Park again. And we played them here, I think 7 weeks ago now, right at the beginning of March, a day when the ground staff spent the best part of 48 hours clearing snow off the pitch, and unfortunately we lost 21-20, having outscored them 4 tries to 2, but being unable to convert any of them.
Cheltenham Racecourse were forced to abandon one of its races yesterday as horse Dame Rose collapsed and died after the opening event. The 5-year-old mare, trained by Richard Hobson, finished the race but collapsed and died shortly after. George Didcote has more.
We're at Cheltenham Racecourse, where unfortunately yesterday horse Dame Rose died of a heart attack after finishing 4th in the first race at Cheltenham. It's unclear the circumstances of which the heart attack was caused. There will be a post-mortem investigating it, but it is thought that due to the acclimatisation of the cold weather going straight into yesterday's 25 degrees, could have been part of the problem. Temperatures hit 25 degrees before the meeting was eventually abandoned, with a few races on the schedule not being ran and compensation being handed out.
In football, Will Boyle reflects on signing a new 2-year deal with Cheltenham Town and speaks of his aims for the remainder of the season. Correspondent Matthew Bannister looks at the 22-year-old's ambitions at Whaddon Road.
With all the speculation about his future, Will Boyle finally signed a new 2-year deal with the Robins. The centre-back claimed that Cheltenham Town was the best place for him to continue his development for his future career.
But as a player, and I can see that development, I can see this place being the best for my development in the next 2 years. So that's the best. Yeah.
The 22-year-old centre-back expressed his disappointment in not playing in the Gloucestershire derby against Forest Green Rovers. The game ended 1-0 to Forest Green, with Christian George scoring the winner.
That's what I mean by disappointed in that I was sat up in the stand watching it, and rather than being out there, being able to affect it.
Boyle has urged Cheltenham Town to win all the points up for grabs. Cheltenham currently sit 16th in the League 2 table and have got safety pretty much wrapped up in the bag. Boyle is hoping that finishing 13th or 14th will make the season look slightly better than what has been so far.
As individuals and as a team, we want to hopefully kick on and finish as high as possible. If we can finish 14th, 13th, then it looks a lot better than 16th, 17th. So we want to be climbing up the table as much as possible and gaining all the points we can.
Forest Green Rovers can take a huge step to preserving their Football League status tomorrow as they face Chesterfield at the New Lawn. Mark Cooper's side are currently 6 points above the relegation zone, whilst their opponents sit rock bottom in League 2. A win could see Forest Green pull 9 points clear of the drop with 3 games remaining. Cheltenham's Jack Lazowski has earned a plum draw in the World Snooker Championships. The 26-year-old, who started his career playing locally in Gloucester, will now face one of the world's best. The format of the draw also means that if he progresses, he could meet 4-time world champion John Higgins in the second round. Correspondent Ethan Georgiou has more.
I'm stood here in Gloucester City Centre, outside of the Westgate Snooker and Pool Club, which is where it all began for young Jack Lazowski, who yesterday was drawn in the Snooker World Championships against 13th seed Stuart Bingham. His match will take place on Tuesday, and, well, we can only wish him luck.
Gloucestershire University have been battling it out against their rivals Worcestershire over the past week in a series of sporting events during varsity. In our 3:30 bulletin, Connor Bursnell will have a varsity roundup special looking at the highlights from last week's sporting action. We will have the latest results, plus exclusive interviews from the member of the equestrian and the hockey teams, plus a live Q&A with a member of the rowing team. That's all for now from Park Life Sport. We will be back later this afternoon.